Getting started soon. Toss any links to cool stories into the Discord. TDS might be functioning. Even on Kick. Did YouTube chat kill TDS? No, not yet. Robot come back from getting milk and scratchers?
I can't. I can't. I just can't, dude. What is wrong with this thing? Dude, this robot is awful. Unbelievable. You're killing me, robot. What are you doing to me? I didn't turn my lights on. Hi, how's it going? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you, and I'm very mad at the robot right now. What is wrong with this TTS robot, man? It works, and then the minute I say that it works, or the minute I tell someone that it works, it shuts down. It completely fails. I'm not the one doing this. I'm not. I want you guys to know that I really did try really hard today. I got an entire new widget within OBS.
Dude, what?
Thank you. Now, where have you been, robot? Is it going to say died again here in just a minute? I typed that many minutes ago. This thing is killing me. It's absolutely killing me, and I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. I don't know why it doesn't function properly. It's a crazy delay. Why has it got a crazy delay? I don't know. I think what happens is that it gets on a delay that's so long that it jams up and then it stops functioning. And then what's going to happen is this one that I typed in there that said it died again won't ever come out. And it'll be stuck in the chamber and nothing behind it will ever go through. Then I'll restart my computer. I'll get it functioning again. I'll uninstall the thing. I'll reinstall a bunch of crap. I'll press the buttons. I'll do all the steps again. I'll get a brand new system up and running. Because I've had like 4 different softwares to do TTS.
It died Agian.
Look, there it is. Okay. And it'll be and then I'll do it and then it'll work and I'll come into chat and I'll get it started and I'll test it. I tested this shit for an hour today. I spent an hour of my day testing to get this thing working, and it was working and it was great and it was functional and I was so happy. But then I go live and it fails. I didn't change any of the settings. I didn't press any of the buttons. I didn't do anything other than going live, which might be the problem. This might be some sort of Waldo doesn't have enough bandwidth for this crap. And that makes me sad. Graceful Gamer, hi. How's it going? Thanks for coming in. I'm yelling about my robot, my TTS robot. It is so incredibly slow. And I was so happy that the damn thing finally functioned. And again, it functions, but every time I get it working, it just fails. And I don't know what to do about it. It's driving me
Where's
crazy.
audio?
Thank you. Where's audio? We're talking, what, 2 minute long thing. So don't press anything in there. So now it should be caught up. We're done with TTS messages. You guys don't send any, but here I'm going to type one in, and then we're going to count and we're going to wait, see if it's how long do we have to wait? I'm going to start a timer on my phone. Did you see Trump's post about the tariff in Canada and Mexico 50% until fentanyl stop being brought over the border? Yeah, I was going to look at that tonight. That's especially silly.
How long do we have to wait?
Okay, so that was only about 30 seconds. Okay, so maybe we're doing, maybe something is working properly. Maybe it'll get better. No, your fentanyl tariffs. Yeah, I know, right? How's KBP going to make any money? If the fentanyl starts getting tariffs, how is KBP going to make money? This is going to be bite right into his bottom line. Let me get the window capture. Oops. Get the window capture up and running. Yeah, there we go. Trump vows new Canada, Mexico, China tariffs that threaten global trade. Let's read about that. What is it? Trump 25% tariff on Mexico, Canada over fentanyl and migration. That doesn't even make any sense. Additional 10% tariff planned for China. So 10%? He said the number could be whatever he wants. Didn't he tell us it would be 100%? It would be 1,000%? It would be 250%? Whatever he wants. China, no one will win a trade war. President-elect Donald Trump on Monday pledged big tariffs for the United States' three largest trading partners, Canada, Mexico, China, detailing how we will implement campaign promises that would trigger trade wars. Trump, who takes office on January 20th, said to impose a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico until they clamp down on drugs, particularly fentanyl, and migrants crossing the border, in a move that would appear to violate a free trade deal. And of course it would. Graceful Gamer, as a trans person, I'm generally concerned that my healthcare will be banned. I think one of my best options is to move to Canada. And that's not a terrible idea. Wait until, well, I don't want to tell you what to do with your life, but I would say wait until we see some actual policy get passed before you make your decision. Get everything ready, get everything prepared, see if you've got a place to land over there. And then once the actual policy comes through, then jump out. Because there's a thing that Trump likes to do, and that's just talk a lot of shit and never actually follow through on the plans that he has. Never actually do the things that he's talking about. So it's entirely possible that a lot of these things never happen because it has to go through the Senate and it has to go through the House. And the Senate, they all have their own egos. Donald Trump is not the first person in government to have a giant ego. Every senator has one as well. So they don't want him to run them. They don't want to do what he says. A long time ago, I know this might shock some people, the president wasn't the most powerful thing in the country. It was the Senate. The Senate would argue and negotiate among themselves to do what they wanted, and the president used to have to go to them to ask them to do things. And then they would tell him no sometimes. I'm seeing that by executive order, he could pretty easily stop new patients, but that banning the healthcare itself would need to go through Congress. Also, I have an aunt who lives in Canada, so I have escaped. But there you go. You have a place to land. So that's good. Keep those channels open and wait for the actual things is what I would suggest anyway. But I don't know all your stuff like that. So, yeah. But they're going to have Canada. It's the fear of missing out. Tariffs, stupid, dumb plan, bad plan, will not go well. Trump also outlined an additional 10% tariff above any additional tariffs on China in some of his most specific comments on how he will implement his economic agenda since winning November 5th. On January 20th, as one of my many first executive orders, I will sign all necessary documents to charge Mexico and Canada a 25% tariff on all products coming into the United States and its ridiculous open borders. He doesn't understand how these work. You don't charge Mexico and Canada. You charge the companies in America who are doing the importing. He still does not know this. That's why I'm thinking that maybe this won't happen, because it doesn't do what he thinks it does. And when somebody finally puts a bill in front of him for him to sign, or if he writes an executive order that says charge Mexico and Canada, we can't, and it won't. The man can, in fact, write down an executive order that mandates by law a unicorn in every garage and a leprechaun in every pot. Doesn't mean it can happen. There are no unicorns. Sorry. Leprechauns aren't real. You can't put them in a pot and eat them no matter how much you think that they would taste delicious. Not allowed. Can't happen within reality. So when he starts writing an executive order that says Mexico and Canada and China will pay us a tariff, it might not even happen. He might just be scribbling in crayons just things that can't happen, that are literally impossible. You think now somebody would have tapped him on the shoulder and been like, popped up on, let him know what the truth is. Yeah, they haven't, or they have, and he doesn't get it. Like, it's entirely possible that he writes a executive order saying that presidents are allowed to flap their arms and fly. He can write that executive order and he can sign it. But if he goes out and he starts flapping his arms, I don't think it's going to do any good. I don't think that's going to work. And I'm thinking that maybe this is what's going to happen. He's going to write this executive order that Canada pays us money, that Mexico pays us tariffs, and then they don't. And then nothing happens. And then he gets to win, and he gets to run around the bases. He gets to. You ever been to a minor league baseball game when they let the little kids run around the bases? That's what might happen. Minor league baseball game during like the 7th inning or something like that. They let all the little kids run around the bases. Did those kids hit a home run? No. Did they step up to the bat and hit the ball and knock it out of the park so that they get to run around? No, they didn't. But we're having fun with them. We're letting them be involved. Donald Trump might do kids' table executive orders that we all know aren't real and aren't good and can't happen. And he's just drawing them in crayon, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe. That's how this goes. While migrant arrests reached a record during President Joe Biden's presidency, straining U.S. border enforcement, illegal crossings fell dramatically this year as Biden instituted new border restrictions and Mexico stepped up enforcement. More than 83% of exports from Mexico went to the U.S. in 2023, and 75% of Canadian exports go to our country. Trump threatened a new tariff would appear to violate the terms of the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement that he made last time he was in office. The deal, which Trump signed into law, it took effect in 2020 and continued the largely duty-free trade between the three countries. So he did this. This is his doing, and he doesn't like it. And he put this in place, and now he's complaining about it, saying that he's going to undo the thing he did. He hated NAFTA, but then he created Trump version of NAFTA, which is almost exactly the same thing. There was very few differences between the original NAFTA and the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement that he signed. But now he's against even that. He is against the thing that he was for 4 years ago. 10 past 11. Hi, thanks for coming in. How's it going? You expect him to remember that far back? No, Shinseto, I suppose not. I guess he can't remember what he signed into law 4 years ago. His biggest complaint about NAFTA was that it didn't have his name on it. So now there's a Trump version of NAFTA, and it's almost exactly the same as the regular NAFTA, but now it has his name in there sometimes. And he's against it. He hates it, and he wants to get rid of it because he doesn't have any idea what's going on anywhere. He hasn't got object permanence, perhaps, like if you do this and then you're like peekaboo, he's like, yeah, where'd you go? Where'd Waldo go? Where's Waldo? Waldo's gone. Where's Waldo? There he is. Donald Trump is a moron, and he doesn't like the bills that he signed. He doesn't like the trade policies he put into place, and he doesn't know how tariffs work. He still doesn't know. Somebody needs to explain it to him. I wonder if we can get him to say it's not a tax again. I wonder if we can do that, because that would be great. I would love that. After he's been elected, he says that it's not a tax, because that would be fantastic. Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? He's gone. Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? There he is. Hooray. So let's keep reading. Okay. Here we go. What do we got? We got Canada and the United States are at one point imposed sanctions on each other's products during the rancorous talks that eventually led to the USMCA, which is he signed. Trump will have the opportunity to renegotiate the agreement in 2026, when a sunset provision will force either a withdrawal or talks to change the pact. After issuing a tariff threat, Trump held a conversation with Canada's Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, in which they discussed trade and border security. A Canadian source familiar with the situation said, "It was a good discussion. We'll stay in touch." This strikes me more as a threat than anything else. I guess the idea is that if you keep hitting them in the face, eventually they'll surrender. Is that a trade policy? Sounds like a bad policy to me. Trump's announcement sparked a dollar rally and rose 1% against Canadian dollar, 2% against the Mexican peso. the dog is here. Bobo is here. Let's take a moment to look at Bobo. How about that? That was Bobo, the baby bark boy. He is a dog. Man, my hair is terrible today. It is a damn mess in it. I walked them in the rain today, and my hair has just been a mess ever since. Did we get TTS on "We Love You, Bobo"? I didn't get to hear it. Yeah, I walked. I took them for a walk, and it was raining, and then I got rain all over me, and now it's just everywhere. It's a whole thing. But we'll struggle on, I suppose. I think I can make it through. Did TTS say "We love you, Bobo"? Oh, you didn't do TTS. Let's try it out. TTS, we love you, Bobo. I wonder how long that'll take. Too long, if you ask me. I think your timer is still running on your first one. I don't think so. On the start screen. No. It took about 30 seconds on the first one. I checked. I got my timer started, and it popped up around 30 seconds. Yeah. But now this one isn't.
We love you, Bobo.
Thank you, robot. You're very slow, and I'm very upset with you. Every time I think I get it fixed, I get I get something else. Well, that was on Twitch. That was not. That wasn't YouTube. YouTube has a little bit of a lag on chat. So, I mean, YouTube chat does that. Chat. I just type in the word chat in YouTube, and then we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and we wait. And it will show up here eventually. It's just that everything that goes through YouTube goes slower, and I don't know why. It just is. That's just the way it is. I don't know why. So let's keep on with the news. See, sorry, YouTube links of chat. Yeah. YouTube links of chat. Yeah. And so there's the word chat that I typed in there several seconds ago. I'll restart it and we'll try again tomorrow. It's just never going to work properly. And I should stop trying, but I can't. I can't give up. I won't give up. And that's my promise to you. I'll never give up. So yeah, tariffs are going to be a mess and not working properly at all ever. So yeah, is there anything else in here important? No, I think that's it for tariffs. Let's go over here to Pam Bondi. Pick to replace Matt Gaetz and wants to deport pro-Palestinian protesters. Remember that First Amendment that you used to have that said you were free to protest? Kind of depends on what you're protesting from now on. Attorney General nominee has long history with President-elect and was once left in a tight spot over a legal case against Trump and university. So let's see. She's not a good choice. She's a bad person surrounded by bad people and will do bad things. But listen, she's not Matt Gaetz. Just hours after Matt Gaetz withdrew his nomination as Attorney General, Donald Trump found an acceptable face for the MAGA movement to replace him. Pam Bondi, the former Florida Attorney General, spent 8 years as the Sunshine State's top lawyer and has maintained her long association with the president-elect since leaving office. The former prosecutor is a firm supporter of Israel and called for a crackdown on pro-Hamas demonstrations that erupted at college campuses last year. I don't know what her voice sounds like, but we're going to make it as maximum Karen as we can. The thing that's really the most troubling to me are these students in universities in our country, whether they're here as Americans or they're here as student visas, and they're out there saying, I support Hamas. Frankly, they need to be taken out of our country or the FBI needs to be interviewing them right away. Yeah, I know she will. She'll hit me with that thing. She's going to turn that ring around and slap me. I know. That's a risk I'm willing to take. She's probably going to throw me in jail, honestly, because saying, hey, I would like Israel to stop murdering innocent civilians means to her what she heard. I said that. You heard me say it. I said, hey, I wish Israel and the Israeli military would stop killing innocent civilians with American weapons. She didn't hear any of that. She heard a static noise. And she assumes that I said, I support Hamas. Waldo supports Hamas. So clip that if you want. But if you say, hey, I would like to for Israel to stop killing innocent civilians with American weapons, she gets the blind spot out, right? Exactly. We're going to need this blind spot a lot. She doesn't hear it. She doesn't know Waldo saying anything. She just hears the psh and then assumes that what I said was, I support Hamas. That's what she hears. She hears, I support Hamas. And if you support Hamas, you're not allowed to say those words. You're not, according to her, allowed to say those words. Free speech absolutists, the free speech warriors over on the right, won't allow you to say those words. It's about to be a real knife fight out there. Yeah, you're right. Knife fights are coming. Yeah, you're right. Start your bail fund now, Waldo. I know I should. I should get that ready. But press the subscribe button, press the like button, press the thumbs up so that I can afford bail. Thanks. Press the subscribe button over on Twitch so that I can afford bail. Sounds like a confession to me. Yeah, exactly. You guys, you're on to it. You guys are have you 10 past 11, have you thought about becoming the Attorney General for Florida? I'm just saying, you're doing a pretty good job. KBP, I know you're not in Florida, but you could become a Republican legislator with talking points like that. You should give it a shot. If you have a severe lack of morals, you can just do whatever you want. Anyway, what was I saying? Pam Bondi, bad person. She is going to suggest that if you say certain words, the FBI should be interviewing you and we should think about getting you out of the country, forcing you out of the country. Because, you see, you have ideas that she doesn't like. Free speech means she's allowed to say and do whatever she wants. And you get investigated by the FBI. And you get deported if she doesn't like what you're saying. That's what freedom of speech means, you guys. Freedom of speech. Conservatives don't know what that term means, and they don't know what a right to protest is either. They don't comprehend these things. They think that you're allowed to say the things that they approve of. And if you're not saying the things they approve of, well, then you're the enemy from within, and you need to be dealt with. Freedom to prosecute you for your speech. Yeah, they have the freedom to prosecute you for the words that you said, even though you didn't say them, because we've got the blind spot. I said, hey, I would like Israel to stop killing innocent people with American weapons. And she didn't hear any of that. She doesn't know what it is. She's like, you support Hamas. Because she doesn't know the difference between a Palestinian and Hamas people, because she's an idiot. Let's see. What else? What else does she have going for her? But like the former Florida congressman, her loyalty to Mr. Trump is beyond question. 8 turbulent days after Matt Gaetz' nomination was announced, she will likely soothe the fears of Republican senators who will be asked to confirm her. This is what I was saying. Matt Gaetz was a distraction. Pick something nightmarish, then when the awful gets introduced second, it doesn't seem as bad. If we had started with her, everyone would have said, no, she's awful, she's terrible, and he would have had to go someone more moderate than her. Ugh. He's playing these fools like a fucking fiddle. Having complained for much of his first term about how Jeff Sessions, his first attorney general, failed to take control of the department, Mr. Trump has learned his lessons as he plans out his second term. In a statement on True Social platform, the president-elect said Miss Bondi would refocus. She'll refocus the Justice Department on fighting crime instead of targeting Republicans. Mr. Trump has been the subject of 2 federal criminal cases. Donnie, listen, you are doing crimes. See, here's the issue. Donald Trump does crimes, then gets mad when the DOJ targets Republicans. Donnie, listen, if you stop doing crimes, the DOJ will stop coming after you. Has anybody explained this to him yet? Has anybody told him, hey, listen, Republicans can commit crimes? He doesn't think that's possible. He doesn't know that even if you're doing things for the Republicans to benefit them, that they can be illegal. He doesn't think they can be illegal if you're doing it for a political reason to benefit the Republicans. It's not illegal. That's the law and order president that we have now. Blondie's got her dukes up. Come at me, yeah. Let's see. Penn was a prosecutor for 20 years. She was tough on violent criminals and made the streets safe for Florida families. Did she? Is that what you think about when you hear about Florida? Is how safe the streets are? Is that something Florida is known for? Having safe streets? Because I kind of think that Florida is some sort of third world country hellscape. If you read the news, Florida man eats someone else's face. Florida man ties alligator to a stop sign. Florida man does this, and Florida man gets high on bath salts, and it's just a mess. But don't worry, she's going to make the world Florida. Every state's going to be as safe as Florida. I hope you appreciate that. I'm here because Kitty threw up and I can't go back to sleep now. Amber Owens, that is awful, and I apologize. Cat puke is a thing that I have had to deal with in the past. We don't have any kitty cats right now because we got the 2 bark boys. But yeah, they do like to puke on your bed. Was it on the bed, I assume? You didn't say that, but I'm just assuming it was on the bed because that's what they do. Let's see. Then, as Florida's first female attorney general, she worked to stop the trafficking of deadly drugs and reduce the tragedy of fentanyl overdose deaths, which have destroyed many families across the country. She did such an incredible job. Did she? Isn't Florida like really well known for the amount of deadly drugs they have there and the overdose deaths? Which I'm going to Google it. Which state has the most fentanyl overdose deaths? I'm willing to bet Florida's close to the top. California has the most deaths from fentanyl in 2022 with 6,000. They have the most people. Florida was second. California has way more people. Florida, second in fentanyl overdose deaths. But don't worry, you guys. She did a really incredible job getting rid of fentanyl. These people aren't real. They don't live in an objective reality. They do not comprehend empiricism. If they say they did an incredible job, then it's fucking true. Doesn't matter what the numbers are. Doesn't matter that 5,000 people died in 2022 while she was in charge. That doesn't matter. That's a number. That's nerd shit. Stop counting nerd shit. Just feel like she did an incredible job. Feel like she reduced the tragedy of fentanyl overdose, and stop looking at all the fucking evidence, you ignorant, dumbass liberals. Stop looking for evidence. Just feel it the way we do. God, I hate this picture. This is a fucking cursed picture, isn't it? Who's trying to eat who here? I think they're both some sort of energetic vampire trying to feed off each other. This is 2 leeches trying to leech off each other. I don't know what the hell this is we're looking at here. I hate it. Controversy. Oh my God. In 2014, Miss Bondi came under fire when she asked Florida's governor to postpone the execution of a murderer because it clashed with one of her campaign events. Florida man eats woman on fentanyl. Yeah, exactly, because it tastes better that way. Eating fentanyl is gay, so he had the woman do it, eat the fentanyl, and he ate her. That makes it more straight. She later admitted the mistake, saying there was nothing more important than seeing justice done. The 59-year-old was also forced to deny claims that she had not pursued legal action against Trump University, where students claimed to have been cheated out of thousands of dollars in tuition fees because of a $25,000 donation she received from the then reality TV star. So I'm going to complain about conspiracy theories later, but this fits within conspiracy thing. I could right now tell you she got $25,000 from Trump, and so she slow walked and tried to get him out of paying this legal fee. But because that wouldn't have any measurable goal, any measurable stuff, I shouldn't say it, you see. And I'll complain about conspiracy theories later. Mr. Trump later agreed to settle for $25 million during his 2016 election campaign in a lawsuit brought by the New York Attorney General. After leaving office, Bondi joined the Trump team as one of the lawyers who fought his first impeachment battle. He did it. We know he did it. In his first term, Mr. Trump was accused of conditioning military aid to Ukraine. He did. Accused. We heard him do it on we have it on audio. The then president would eventually be acquitted by the Senate following a trial, with senators voting largely along party lines. Okay, so she is going to do everything Donald Trump tells her to do, whether it's legal or not. She won't care. If it benefits Donald Trump, then it's legal. If it hurts Donald Trump, doesn't matter how true it is, it's illegal. That's the system now. That's the legal system from now on, possibly, for at least the next few years. Helps Donald Trump? Legal. Doesn't matter. Hurts Donald Trump? Illegal. Doesn't matter how true it is. Doesn't matter how much it used to be illegal. That doesn't matter. Not anymore. It's legal now. And we can all look forward to that. So that's going to be fun. All right, what else we got? Let's keep going down the news. What do we got? Here we go. U.S. farm groups want Trump to spare their workers from deportation. So the people who employ the immigrants, the illegal and legal ones, do not want Trump to send them away because then they will lose money, which is why it might not happen. Farm industry warns Trump deportation plans could upend food supply. Nearly half of the U.S. farm workers lack legal status. Farmers seek expanded legal pathways for agricultural laborers. U.S. farm industry groups want President-elect Donald Trump to spare their sector from his promise of mass deportation. So if you're a farm worker, you should get spared the deportation. That doesn't sound like a system that would work. Most of them are farm workers, and then couldn't we just let the ones who are already here become farm workers? Would they then be immune as well? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. So far, Trump officials have not committed to any exemptions, according to the interviews with farm and worker groups. Trump, including incoming border czar Tom Homan. Nearly half of the nation's approximate 2 million farm workers lack legal status. So it's a million. Why don't they just say a million? All right, come on, Reuters. 1 million farm workers lack legal status, according to the Department's Labor and Agriculture, as well as many dairy and meat packing workers. Trump vowed to deport millions of immigrants in the U.S. illegally as part of his campaign to win back the White House, blah, 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 blah. A logistically challenging undertaking that critics say could split apart families and disrupt U.S. businesses. Of course it could. We've got a lot on our plate, blah, blah, blah. They're filling critical roles. The many U.S.-born workers either unwilling or unable to perform. And that makes sense. It's a bunch of very hard work for very little pay. And there's not a corporate ladder you can climb if you're picking vegetables. Let's see. So yeah, this is just complaints. Okay, so farmers have a legal option for hiring labor with a H-2A visa program, which allows employers to bring in an unlimited number of seasonal workers if they can show there's not enough U.S. workers willing, qualified, and able to do the job. The program has grown over time with 378,000 positions certified by the Labor Department in 2023, 3 times more than it was in 2014. But the figure is only about 20% of the nation's farm workers. Many farmers say they cannot afford the visa's wage and housing requirements. Others have year-round labor needs that rule out seasonal visas. Farmers and workers would benefit from an expanded legal pathway for agricultural laborers, said John Waite, Boatwright. Boatwright? Is that a name? Director of Government Affairs in the American Farm Bureau and Farmer Lobby. Okay. So we need the certainty, reliability, and affordability of a workforce program and programs that are going to allow us to deliver food from the farm to the table. So he would like something stable. He can plan if things are stable. If it's not, if we are just rounding people up randomly and changing the laws every 5 minutes, it's unstable. He doesn't have the reliability, and he doesn't know how to get things done. This is a reason you shouldn't vote for Donald Trump. It's a little late, I know, but the fact that he is unstable, chaotic, and a mess is a good reason not to vote for him. He will make things so weird and dangerous and unknowable. He will cause so much chaos just trying to appease his own thought of what should happen. And it won't even make any sense, you know. So Trump makes batshit crazy plans, finds out that he can't carry them out, which is a good thing. Then he and the GOP get credit for not carrying out awful plans. Can't make this stuff up. Yeah, exactly. Amber Owens, entirely correct. He will claim victory in that situation. He will claim through. They'll make up the numbers. He's already lied to you about how many illegal people are in the country. He said 30 million, 40 million. The number 40 million came out of his mouth. I didn't make that up. The people who count people, the people who are empirical and logical, said there's about 11, maybe 12 million. So where's he getting the 30 million, the 40 million? He doesn't know. He doesn't care. And it wouldn't surprise me. Follow me here. He says 40 million on the campaign trail. He has Elon push out some number on X and Twitter, two different things apparently, and about 40 million. Then when the time comes, he's like, there's only 11 million left in the country. He'll have, he deported 29 imaginary leprechauns, unicorn people who aren't real, and then he can claim victory. He might do exactly that. He might just say, oh, there were 40 million, but now there's only 11. They all self-deported. They all disappeared inside their own asses, you see. They all went back to Honduras and Mexico. They went back to the insane asylums that they came from because they were afraid of me. They were afraid that I would send them back. So they went back. And then some people will believe him. 29 million empty pots. Yeah, exactly. He will take credit for things that have nothing to do with him or solving imaginary problems that he invented. It wouldn't surprise me if he did something like that. Look around, look to your left, look to your right. Do you see any leprechauns? No, of course not, because I got rid of them. I got rid of all the leprechauns. You can't prove I didn't. It's true. I can't prove that he didn't get rid of all the leprechauns. And then the people, the conservatives will come into my kick chat and tell me, "You got rid of all the leprechauns, Waldo. What are you hating on him?" You can't prove that he didn't get rid of all the leprechauns. You can't prove that he didn't get rid of 30 million imaginary immigrants. Those immigrants aren't here anymore, are they? Well, they never were. They didn't exist. Okay, farm workers. What do we got? The reason the math on mass deportation doesn't add up, flawed calculations and overlooked benefits show why Trump's immigration plan would be a fiscal disaster for America. Anybody with a brain already knows this. President-elect Donald Trump's campaign on mass deportation now, his justification for the necessity of this policy were easily dismissed by experts. New immigrants aren't behind a murder spree, aren't driving up crime rates, aren't eating pets, aren't taking black jobs, and in many cases, aren't even here illegally. One area that is more difficult to assess, but also rarely mentioned by Trump, how mass deportation would affect U.S. government debt. If Trump is looking for a better intellectual cover for mass deportation, he could find it in a pre-election report from the Conservative Manhattan Institute, the MI. Their report found that the influx of illegal immigration since 2021 will add $1 trillion to our federal debt. Oh my God. This is proving Waldo wrong, isn't it? But wait, there's more. And mass deportations would significantly reduce the national debt over the long run. Oh my God. I guess we should listen to these people. This conclusion was seemingly at odds with a recent report from the CBO that found a big and growing fiscal upside to the recent influx of nearly $1 trillion over the next decade. So this is the range. Either we're losing $1 trillion or we're gaining $1 trillion because of these people. Which is it? That's a $2 trillion gap, difference between the two. The author of the MI study, Daniel DiMartino, generously shared his data and calculations, allowing me to see whether it was the CBO's shorter time frame or something else driving these divergent results. Last week, the Cato Institute published the results of my replication. I identified 9 methodological problems in the MI's model. Now, if you're not a complete, utter nerd, you might not notice that this is a gigantic slam. This is a science slam. I identified 9 methodological problems in the MI's model. Damn. That's what you should say. Because that's an in-your-face moment right there. It really is. 9 inconsistencies in your methodological model. It's a science slam. You have to be a nerd to really appreciate it. Rather than a $1 trillion loss from recent arrivals, I find these immigrants provide a positive $4.9 trillion in net present value for the federal government over a lifetime. Oh yeah, there you go, Shinzinto. It's a nerd goal. Rather than a $1 trillion loss, it's actually $4.9 trillion gain. Because what happens is they come in here and they help the economy. This is something the right wing cannot fathom. Poor people aren't hurting your economy. The rich people are. It doesn't matter how big the caravan is. It's good for us. We need people here. We need poor people to do the work, be paid very little, and then buy shit. What do they do with all that money? The pennies on the dollar that they make, that fraction of minimum wage that they make for all the backbreaking work. They spend it on stuff. They buy American shit. They buy shit from Walmart. They buy shit from our grocery stores. They pay rent. They pay for their kids to go to school. They buy backpacks. They buy shoes. They buy everything that you buy with your money. Think about that. Whatever you spent money on recently, an illegal immigrant would have too. Is there a difference between your money and theirs? No. They'll even pay some tariffs. That's right. They'll buy stuff from a company that's paying tariffs. And that's good for us. An economy is a wheel. I haven't got the wheel of dimes yet, but I'm going to work on it. KBP came up with that in the last stream. I want a dime that just spins, that I can put on screen, sort of like just like the blind spot. I want it to be right there, and I want it to be over here, and then I want it to spin, because it'll signify that the economy is a wheel. It needs to spin. It needs to move. We can't just have money going up and staying there for eternity. The entire economy will crash at that point. It will cease to function. It needs to come back down, either through pay to employees, pay to these immigrants who are doing the work, or taxes that the government steals from the rich people and gives to the poor. That is how the economy must function. It must flow. It must spin. It must move in a circular fashion, not just an upward fashion. So let's see. What else is in here? So yeah. Let's keep reading. How is such a big difference possible? Start with taxes. The MI assumes that immigrants won't increase tax revenues from businesses at all. This is obviously incorrect. Not only are many immigrants business owners, but businesses only hire workers because those workers will increase profits that will be taxed. Most analysis indicate that workers pay the majority of corporate income tax through low wages. When workers are deported, they won't be earning wages, and the businesses won't be earning profits or paying taxes on them. He's suggesting that if all of their workers are gone, they won't turn a profit, then they can't pay taxes, and the entire system will collapse, exactly like I've been saying forever, to determine future tax revenues. MI's analysis assumes that recent illegal immigrants are very uneducated and won't have high-paying jobs, with their report showing just 7% of recent illegal immigrants had a college degree, while almost half have no high school degree. Its estimate, which is based on a misreading of a decade-old blog post of mine, is at odds with more recent evidence. Demographers at the Center for Migration Studies have found that 20% of illegal immigrants ages 18 and up have a college degree. Wow. 20% of illegal immigrants ages 18 and up have a college degree. I don't have a college degree. Man, 20% of illegal immigrants are smarter than me. I don't know what to make of that. And here I am living the high life, living the good life, high society. Waldo over here with his amazing house and cool Star Wars stuff and Star Wars t-shirts, you know. But they have a degree and I don't. Maybe I have some sort of, I don't know, privilege that I was born with. I don't know. I'll have to investigate that later. Let's see. It might seem surprising that so many illegal immigrants have college degrees, but many of the illegal immigrants that Trump and the MI are talking about didn't even enter illegally. They came in a temporary status called parole, which Trump plans on canceling. Moreover, socialism didn't just destroy the jobs of the poorest Venezuelans, Cubans, Nicaraguans, Haitians, and others. It ruined the prospects for more skilled workers as well. And they are often the ones who have the means to move. Immigrant children who grow up here illegally also often obtain education beyond high school. This is a complicated, nuanced situation in which you have to take case by case. Every single person of these 11 million people who are here illegally are snowflakes who have to be looked at as an individual, not just determined guilty, thrown through a kangaroo court and then thrown back into Mexico, even though they're from Honduras. Doesn't make any sense. They're not going to do a good job. Donald Trump cannot do this properly and cheaply. He can do it properly. He really could. It would take a fucking decade and a shitload of money. And he could do it properly. He's not going to do either of those things. He can do it sloppily and quickly, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to be a mess, and it's going to be ugly, and none of us are going to want to watch it. And he's going to try not to let you see it, even if it does happen. And I'm still not sure that it will. I think this is all just talk, honestly. So let's see. Anything else interesting on this one? The true cost of mass deportation. Here we go. MI's DiMartino has since admitted at least some of these calculations should be changed, though he still insists deportations will lead to lower defense spending. But let's just assume for a second that MI did all the calculations exactly right, and recent immigrants will cost the U.S. government $1 trillion. Mass deportation will cost a lot of money too. On MI's accounting, it would cost about $500 billion, so half of what they cost you, which it says is still worth it. The problem is that MI is not considering the fact that mass deportation will almost certainly be paid for by new federal debt, which means it should consider the future interest rates on that debt. Factoring in the debt, the cost of mass deportations triples to $1.5 trillion over the immigrant's lifetime. In other words, even if MI was 100% right, mass deportation wouldn't be worth it. It would be more expensive than the money you're saving. They would do a bunch of expensive crap that would make us worse off. They will pay to hurt our country. Not only Are they going to hurt the people? They're going to hurt the country, and they're going to charge you for it. Does that sound like fun? Hurt the people, hurt you, hurt your country, and pay extra for it. And then when the economy falls apart, we'll have to bring in more workers. And then we'll have to pay for that. It'll be nuts. It'll be awful. And when then the economy crashes, they'll blame Biden. Yeah, exactly. He'll blame Biden. This is Biden's inflation, you see. I spent $1.5 trillion sending all the workers away. And now that we don't have any workers and our entire economy has collapsed, this is Biden's inflation. I told you. Biden's inflation was going to harm you. I told you about this. And he'll blame Biden. Exactly right. Even though we know where it came from. And the people who are his fans will believe it. Belief is the problem. They won't care. Their favorite angry bit of hatred will have been fed. They'll have fed their spite. So they'll feel better. Even though everything is more expensive and the entire economy is collapsing, they will feel better. When you combine the likely cost of mass deportation with the lost physical benefits from recent illegal immigrants, reversing the Biden border crisis will end up imposing almost $6 trillion in cost on the U.S. taxpayers. Undoing the Biden border crossing will make you lose $6 trillion. Doing nothing will make us money. Doing nothing, giving these people a path towards citizenship will make the government money, not lose it. It will increase our economy, not ruin it. And they don't care. They don't care, or they've never heard anyone explain this to them, or both. It's entirely possible that if I got a nice, reasonable conservative on the screen on chat right now, I would explain to them, hey, the economy is actually better when the immigrants are here. They actually increase. They pay into the taxes, then they don't get the benefits, and then they don't get actually welfare and stuff like that, and they can't do unemployment insurance. And when they are paying into the taxes, they're not getting the benefits out. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, did you just put up your blind spot? Did you just put up the conservative blind spots where you can't hear and see any of the things that I'm talking about? That's not cool, man. I am over here trying to explain to you how to make the country a better place, and you just aren't hearing any of it, are you? So, this is the issue, that they're willingly blind when they want to be. If they don't like you or your skin color, honestly, or where you came from, they don't like how you got here, blind spot up, you get out. And it will hurt us, and it will ruin us, and we will all suffer because they can't, because they need to feel like someone else is worse than them. And that makes me sad because we all get to suffer. It's going to be great. Speaking of suffering, here we go. Trump reportedly plans to kick trans troops out of the military within days of inauguration. So last time he was in charge, he said this like in a tweet, and then didn't fill out the paperwork, and then it never actually got done. He did. He said on Twitter, he said, okay, the transes are no longer allowed in the military. Send. Donnie, my guy, you have to do paperwork and shit. You have to pass laws and sign stuff. You can't just tweet that shit out. You got to actually bring people in and have them write policy and then sign it and then get that passed and then get it approved through the appropriate bureaus and departments and shit. You can't just tweet out whatever you think should happen. You're not a king. He wasn't back then. He might be now. So there's a chance that he does this. He could eject thousands of current trans service members. I think the number was here. What was it? How many was there? 15,000 members would be forced to leave military charities such as the Modern Military Association of America. Warned the ban would hurt everyone in every branch of the armed services at a time when they are struggling to recruit. So they don't have enough people now. They would like more, and Donald Trump's going to take 15,000 away from them. Sounds like a dumb thing to do. And yeah, and he's just doing it out of spite. There's no good reason for it. He just doesn't like them. He needs someone to blame. He only has to sign one policy. That's just making tweets law. His tweets are law. Yeah, they're true. I mean, they're truth, honestly, right? I mean, he's got Truth Social. So it's truth. I mean, literally, by definition, it's truth now. He can just keep posting on truth and then it's true, right? It's not like liars have a habit of naming things incorrectly to make it seem more legitimate. No. That's never happened. Looking at you, People's Democratic Republic of North Korea. DPRK, Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Yeah, no, they're not democratic. They're not of the people. They're not a republic. They are Korea, however. So 3 out of 4 lies right there in their official title. Let's see what else we got. We got that, and this one made me mad. Special counsel moves to abandon election interference and classified documents cases against Donald Trump. Jack Smith has given up because Donald Trump won. Maybe. Follow me here. Hypothetical here. You should have started sooner. Why did we wait a year before we even started investigating what happened on January 20th? And then we had to wait another year while Congress investigated it. And then we had to wait another year for Jack Smith to get his stuff started. And then I know why they waited so long. It's because they wanted it during campaign season. They wanted Donald Trump's trial to happen exactly during this past campaign season. They wanted it to happen exactly then, this past summer and into September. They wanted him in trial in September so that the people wouldn't forget and wouldn't not notice when they vote in November. Massive fuck up, Democrats. Joe Biden, I'm looking at you. You slow walked this for political gain and you lost. Stop doing that. Stop deciding when to, that justice should also get you a few political points. And I blame the entirety of the DNC. All of the Democrats are responsible for this shit. Every single fucking one of them. Why weren't you doing this sooner? Why did we wait 4 whole fucking years and we still didn't go to trial? It's not like the trial was going to take 2 years long. Jack Smith said he could get it done in 5 weeks. That should have happened 3 fucking years ago. That way, he'd have it on his record and he wouldn't be able to dodge it. And then a jury of his peers would have found him guilty. And then we would have had that to go on. And then the Republicans might not have actually chosen him in a primary. They probably would have, but he could have been spending time in jail. That would have been pleasant. And then people wouldn't have voted for him. Every Democrat who slow walked that shit is responsible for what's happening now. So when the people start suffering, when the economy collapses, when the brown shirts start marching through the street, it's their fucking fault. Because they wanted to score a couple of points. Democrats, you let us down again. Stop doing that. Is anybody at the DNC going to lose their job? Probably not. They don't care. They don't think that anything can go wrong. The Dems don't actually think that things can fall apart. They can. And they're about to. But they don't think that it can. They think that everything is fine. I don't understand how they didn't count on Trump's superhuman amount of delay tactics. They didn't think that they didn't think that he would get to do that. I don't know. They were assuming that he would run out of delay tactics, or he would, I don't know, say true things in front of a judge, and then the judge would weigh the true things and then move forward. But they just said horse shit, bullshit, nonsense, delay after bullshit, after horse shit, after special masters, after complaints that the special masters weren't perfect and they voted for a Democrat one time, shitting on every judge that ever took a Democrat donation. They did superhuman, you're right, amounts of delay tactics because the Dems think that everybody plays fair, and they're wrong. They're stupid. Donald Trump doesn't play fair. He doesn't look at the rules and say, well, I guess I lost. No, he'll tell you to fuck yourself and shit on the rule book. He'll eat the rule book and tell you there is no rule book. And then he'll shit it out later and then read it and say, look, it says the rules right here. He's an insane person. You can't logic your way against somebody who's bad faith. That's what he is. He's bad faith. He will say X is true and then X is not true, one right after the other, if it serves him, if it benefits him. He will lie, bad faith, and not tell you. It's not like he's just lying. He's playing the refs. He's playing the rules. And that makes me mad. We should have started sooner. And this is cope. This is Dems coping. Jack Smith leaving option to charge Donald Trump in the future. Fuck off. This is Newsweek. This is some fucking Democrat fucking coping. On Monday, Smith filed a motion to drop 4 felony counts against Trump for attempting to overturn the 2020 presidential election and his alleged role in the 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. He also dropped an appeal. But Smith wrote that he stands fully behind the election subversion charges against Trump, despite moving to dismiss the case without prejudice, a legal term that means charges could at least theoretically be filed against the Trump's terms, could be filed again after Trump's term ends in 2029. The documents case was previously dismissed without prejudice. So theoretically, we could file these again in 2029, guys. Don't give up. Theoretically, we could file these again in 2029. Won't that be great? Won't that be fantastic? Won't that just absolutely stick it to him? I think we could have run out the delays, and it would have been during the election season. If they had started immediately, yeah. If they had started the minute he left office, we'd almost be done by now. He would have run out of delays a week ago, maybe. Yeah. Let's see what else we got to talk about tonight. So this is me complaining about conspiracy theories again. Marjorie Taylor Greene calls NPR's Democrat propaganda. Marjorie Taylor Greene calls NPR Democrat propaganda, threatens to slash its funding. She's on the committee with the Doge, and she's going to suggest to cut NPR funding because it says true things. The most insulting thing you can do to Maytag is say true things. Okay? She does not live in empiricism. She does not live within the true world. She does not live in a place of measurements, comprehension, and facts. God, no. That is not where Maytag lives. Marjorie Taylor Greene lives in make-believe pretend land where feelings are the only thing that matters. And she feels like Donald Trump's awesome and NPR is a bunch of liars. She feels like NPR, the most boring, plain Jane, here's a fact, 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 reporting that we have anywhere on the goddamn planet is Democrat propaganda, because Marjorie Taylor Greene is anti-reality. And being anti-reality is fun. You can do it anytime you want. You can be anti-reality anytime you want. Conspiracy theories are fun because they don't have to have measurable qualities. Just vaguely gesture towards anything and you can start to have some fun yourself. Houseplants are plotting a rebellion. Houseplants are secretly plotting to overthrow humans. They've been pretending to just sit there and look pretty, but in reality, they're developing their own intelligence. They've organized a root coup, and they're going to take over your home. Be careful the next time you water them. They're secretly making plans for a plant uprising. Cucumbers are actually sentient. They are an advanced recon of plant uprising. The cucumbers have been pretending to be vegetables, but they are in actuality an advanced species capable of controlling your thoughts. They've been waiting for the right moment to invade, starting with the global popularity of pickles. You may think they're just tasty and sour, but really they've been manipulating your taste buds for decades. It's like the news, but you don't have to know anything. It's like the news, but you don't have to know anything. And if you do it in a vague enough way, you can never be wrong because you're just theorizing. You were just playing around with ideas. Waldo, why don't you believe in the marketplace of ideas? This stuff can be true. Watch here. Listen. Let's look at Tucker Carlson. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Get out of here, you. Get out of here. No, you stay there. You stay there. You stay there. Where's Tucker Carlson? There he is. Sorry, I didn't get my stuff together. All right, here we go. Tucker Carlson. Webcam screen. There we go.
I know a couple of people who I know are compromised in the U.S. government, and I sort of feel sad for them because how'd you like to be in that position? All it would take is one brave man to give a press conference. There was actually a guy, Cokie Roberts' father, Hale Boggs, who stood up in Congress. He was this majority leader in about 1970. He was on the Warren Commission, and he did not buy the conclusions at all, and he told other people that. He was from Louisiana, and he stood up and made some noises about on the floor of the House about how the CIA was doing things they were not supposed to do in domestic politics and had unchecked power, etc.
Numerous members of Congress have reported to me that their telephone conversations and activities are the subject of surveillance by the FBI, confirming my own experience, which substantiates these allegations.
He was immediately denounced as mentally ill, probably an alcoholic, and then he disappeared in a plane crash with baggage in 1972 in Alaska. The plane was never seen again. Look, I'm not saying he was murdered for that, though. I would not at all.
He's not saying
he was, but why is he the last guy to say anything like that? Like,
well, because he died in a plane crash and was declared mentally.
I know.
It's like the news, but more fun. You don't get to say, I'm not saying that the CIA murdered him, but nobody else says that, and he was murdered by the CIA, but I'm not saying that the CIA killed him. That would be ridiculous. He didn't do anything like that. The CIA would not murder anybody, except for this time they totally fucking did, and I know for a fact, but I can't prove it because there's no evidence, and nothing that I'm saying is real, and I'm just spitballing here. Why are you coming after me? Why are you asking for evidence? That's some gay libtard shit. Stop asking for evidence, damn it. Don't ask for evidence. Evidence is for bitches, okay? You get to make up nonsense and you get money. Exactly. Conspiracy theories are like the news, but more fun because they've got drama and intrigue and nonsense. So I think this is the way that we're going to function for a very long time. We are moving forward in the misinformation age. We've got here, let's look at, so that was Tucker. And so, yeah, he's not following the scientific method here. This is the scientific method over here. You get an idea, you perform experiments, then does the evidence support the idea? No, it was a bad idea. Start over. If it does, you've got a theory. Then you use the theory to better understand the universe. Then you discover new evidence. Can the theory be modified to explain the new evidence? No. Revolution, get a new idea. If it does, you improved the theory and use the theory to better understand the universe. Now, this is the scientific method. Tucker here is on the faith method. Get an idea, ignore any contradicting evidence, discover new evidence, ignore contradicting evidence, discover new evidence. And the evidence is just because that's how he feels. You see, he feels like the CIA is out to get him all the time. He doesn't need facts to suggest that it's not. He doesn't need your facts proving him wrong. He doesn't need your evidence. He doesn't need to provide evidence to prove the things he feels. That's gay shit. Stop doing it. You stupid liberals, need to stop asking for evidence of the things that conservatives say, because you're making them feel sad. So what else we got? We've got, here's the scientific method. Here are the facts. What conclusions can we draw from them? But the creationist method is, here's the conclusion. What facts can we find to support it? The difference being that you go the right direction with science, but with creationism and religion, honestly, they give you the conclusions. Then you go and you look for the facts that back up your conclusions. And then you ignore anything that proves you incorrect. Carbon dating proves that the world is more than 6,000 years old. They'll just ignore that. That's where the blind spot comes in. The Carbon dating proves that how old a civilization is, and it's longer than 6,000 years old, but they put the blind spot up so that they don't have to see it or hear it. Evidence is nerd shit. Absolutely. 10 past 11. That's exactly the point I'm getting to. Evidence is nerd shit. What else we got? So I had a couple more fun things to look at, so we can close that one. Marjorie Taylor Greene's threatening to call NPR propaganda. I just listened to Steve Bannon's show for a week. What's coming is clear. The biggest fight MAGA is about to pick probably won't be with liberals. It will be with neocons. So what they're going to do is push MAGA ideas, even though they're bad for us, even though it's bad for business. A lot of the Republicans, a lot of the rich people are going to say, hey, just like with those farmers I talked about a few minutes ago, if you get rid of all our workers, we won't be able to make a profit. MAGA and Steve Bannon and Donald Trump aren't going to give a shit. They're going to move forward, even though everyone is telling them it's a bad idea and damaging and harmful. They're ready for this. They want it. Steve Bannon wants to fight against Mitt Romney. He does. He hates the left, but he just beat the left 2 weeks ago at the election. His next challenge is neocons, center-of-the-road Mitt Romney types who say, if we deport 11 million people, no one's going to be able to work, no one's going to make any money, and the economy's going to fail. That's the next war coming, is the crazies with their tinfoil hats against the neocons. Here is Tucker Carlson saying something crazy again.
Daily discussing what happens then. It's just like insane. Trust me, that's like a secular, rational position on it. You don't have to be a Christian or religious in any sense to acknowledge that that's just true. No one ever talks about that. And so I just want to approach this election with that perspective. And that event, that attack on me has helped me to do that. So again, I'm really grateful for it.
He's talking about the demonic attack that happened to him while he was asleep. Sorry. Context, I suppose.
But I wouldn't change it if I could.
You said something. I'll go back to about the dropping of the atomic bomb and the beginning of secular society. My dad and the greatest generation fought on the battlefields of that conflict and were one of the driving forces with obviously the Russian people and the Chinese people to deliver us from that time from Imperial Japan and fascist rule in Europe. But at the same time, Oppenheimer, and this is what's so chilling when you say about secular, he used, I think it was the Hindu god Vishnu. They called the project the Trinity Project, right? And at the very test there in New Mexico, he quoted what the god Vishnu about now. I'm the destroyer of worlds, right? Don't you find that chilling, or is that tied to your?
Because it was a magic spell.
We've now dropped the spiritual, which even Oppenheimer realized. In the Greatest Generation, we kind of went to.
He did a magic spell.
A totally materialistic secular society that leads America to this place in 2024, and the instrument of its turnaround or its rejuvenation is a guy like Donald Trump?
Well, we didn't drop the spiritual. We just embraced, another element of it. I mean, if you're quoting a pagan god as you're incinerating civilians with a nuclear weapon, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that was the pivot point in America's history. And it's just so interesting how resistant a lot of people who I consider friends, I agree with on most things, are to acknowledging that. That call you a pro-Hitler, you're a Holocaust denier if you question the nuclear weapons or whatever. I don't care. Of course, I'm none of those things. It goes without saying, or it should. No, I'm just noting the obvious, which is that American society changed profoundly in August of 1945, and it's reflected in the culture, it's reflected in the architecture, the art, the design, the literature. Nothing was the same after the end of the Second World War. Again, it's not a pro-Nazi statement. I couldn't be more anti-Nazi. Obviously, I'm an American.
He thinks Americans can't be Nazis.
I care about this country and what happened to it after 1945. And it's a very clear demarcation line. And it seems obvious to me that nuclear weapons are demonic, there's no upside to them at all, and that anyone who claims otherwise is either ignorant or doing the bidding of the forces that created nuclear technology in the first place, which are not human forces, obviously.
Not human.
And let me just ask.
Not human forces. Demons, aliens, angels, something, devils, something that isn't human, created nuclear power and nuclear weapons.
Ask you this, which I've asked a million people at dinner parties, but never in public. What was the moment we can point to that nuclear technology was invented? You know, we can point to Isaac Newton and say, well, an apple fell on his head, or we can point to Albert Hoffman in his lab messing around with the, ergot bacteria. That's when LSD was made. I've never met a person who can isolate the moment where nuclear technology became known to man.
Except that we can. You're an idiot, Tucker. Here we go. John Cockcroft and Irish physicist Ernest Walton first produced nuclear transformations in 1932. And that in the next few years, scientists Irene Curie, Frederick Joliot, and Enrico Fermi progressed the science further. Nuclear fission itself was discovered by Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann in Berlin, working under Niels Bohr in late 1938, which would spark massive developments in nuclear science in the next year. In a matter of minutes, in a matter of moments, it's easy to find a timeline disproving Carlson's contention that people don't know when nuclear technology was discovered. This is the problem. This is the guy that millions of people listen to. And he told them, we don't know where nuclear comes from. And they believe it. We are in the misinformation age, and there is nothing I can do to stop it. Maybe together, we can all band together and suggest, hey, Tucker, you're an idiot. Nukes, how do they work? Nobody knows how they work. It's true. There's some sort of magic happening inside there. The Oppenheimer cast Ultima, and we don't know the magic spell, the magic words to cast Ultima. We don't know how that works. Tucker doesn't understand it. He hasn't been taught it, which means it doesn't exist. He is such a small brain that if he hasn't specifically been taught it and heard it from a trusted source, and his trusted sources are all liars, it didn't happen. This is the thing I'm complaining about. This is why I wear the hat. This is why I keep pointing towards conspiracy, because we are no longer a society that is run by the intelligent. We are a society run by the conspiracy theorists. They have taken over because it feels good, man. Sounds like a lot of those demonic magnets. Exactly. Nobody knows how magnets work. Nobody can even comprehend how they function. Nobody knows. According to Tucker. According to the idiocracy that is now in charge. They don't know where nuclear stuff came from. They don't know how magnets work. They don't know how the economy works. They don't know anything. And if you try to tell them, that's nerd shit. If you try to explain to them, that's nerd shit. That's liberal cuckoldry. That's liberal bullshit. Education is liberal indoctrination. We are beyond idiocracy. We're in the worst timeline, and it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get ugly as Donald Trump continues to fill his cabinet with the worst of us, the dumbest of us, and the people who are not curious enough to even type into Google, when did we discover radioactivity? When did we discover nuclear? It's very simple. Tucker Carlson could have done that. He's a very, very rich man. He has a computer. He has access to the internet. I know he does. Look, he's right here on my screen. He's got a microphone in front of his face. I've got a microphone. He's got graphics on his screen. I've got graphics on my screen. Why does he get millions of dollars to lie, but people who tell the truth don't get shit? I'll tell you why. It's because reality tastes like shit, and bullshit is delicious. He peddles bullshit, and his fans lap it up. They love it. Bullshit is delicious. It's wonderful. And the entire American population is getting fat on bullshit. They love it, and they want some more of it. And if you try and sneak a little bit of truth in there, they'll fucking attack you. Do you think that they'll listen to Elon about science? No. Or is Elon a fake science guy? He is a salesman. This hits hard at home, dude. I know. I'm glad it's hitting hard. That's what I'm going for. I'm glad you brought up Elon, because that's my next thing to talk about. Elon makes a joke about buying MSNBC, and then we have to talk about it all day long. Is MSNBC for sale? No. But Elon made a joke. Maybe I'll buy MSNBC. Donald Trump Jr. talks about castration of MSNBC hosts with Elon and Joe Rogan. Right-wingers are fantasizing about Elon buying MSNBC. Joe Rogan asks to take Rachel Maddow's job if Elon Musk buys MSNBC. This wasn't going to happen. It's not going to happen. It can't happen. It's not for sale. He just said some bullshit, and now we have to report on it for a couple of days. I don't think Tucker's an idiot. I think he's a liar and knows that he doesn't care because he's more profitable to be a liar. Well, I think he could have become what he is by natural selection. When he tells the truth, his ratings go down. When he talks about a certain subject, numbers go down. His producers come and yell at him and say, hey, this story got our numbers down. But when you talked about UFOs and demon possession and that time you got attacked in your sleep by a demon, numbers rose. You can see this on YouTube too. What's his name? Jimmy Dore. Absolute piece of shit. He says he's on the left, but he's not, honestly. I swear to God. He gets this many views when he complains about Republicans. And he gets this many views when he complains about Joe Biden. So what's he going to do? He's going to complain about Joe Biden more often. Then he's going to get this many views, and then he gets this much money. It's very simple. I think Tucker could be in that situation as well, where talking about real things, complaining about the Republicans, complaining about stuff that is actual and correct, gets him fewer views and nobody cares. When he does the drama, when he starts shoveling bullshit, numbers go up through the roof. Like some low carb bullshit, please. Well, I suppose we could find some low carb bullshit. I don't know. Carbs are bad for you or good for you. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm sure we can find a diet for you. 10 past 11. Have you tried the all bacon diet? It's entirely bullshit, but it tastes great. Not enough demons to go around. I know. Jimmy Dore, another liar. Yeah, exactly. He's the left and he's a leftist. No, he's not. He's paid to talk, and he gets paid more when he shits on Joe Biden and Hillary and the Dems. So that's what he does because he wants money, you see. When passing out truth is less profitable than spreading bullshit, more people will spread bullshit, obviously. I don't know what to do about this. I don't know how to solve this conundrum that we have found our way into. It's to do with the humans and their stupid monkey brains and being entertained. I get it. I don't know what to do about it. An excuse to eat bacon. Yeah, exactly. Well, let me, as your literal dietitian, tell you that you can eat as much bacon as you want. It's never going to do any harm to you. And you should have it as much as you like. And that's a lot of bullshit. And I'm not in charge of anything. And I'll put a little asterisk here saying that I'm not a real doctor, but you can do whatever you want. And that's the kind of bullshit that's killing us. It's killing the entire country, and I don't know what to do about it. Our entire society is going to drown in bullshit. What was that? Yeah, Elon and the thing here. It's not for sale. It's not a serious idea, but we have to talk about it because they set the parameters for the debate. The people that are the least serious and the least connected to reality get to decide what we debate every day. And I don't know why. I don't quite understand why the right-wing media ecosystem gets some kind of message first thing in the morning telling them what they're going to talk about all day. Then they do. Then the rest of the mainstream media wakes up the rest of the mainstream media in the center has to react and talk about what the right wing is currently freaking out about. There's not a left-leaning mainstream media, even MSNBC is just for the Dems. That's not left-leaning. But the left-leaning people online, like myself, then go on debunking whatever the right said and correcting what the center said. And I don't know how we wrestle back control of the narrative. Imagine thinking bacon diet is healthy. People who just say anything, don't they? Yeah, exactly. Now you want some bacon. Well, good news. I've got a deal for you. Just type exclamation point bacon and you'll be forwarded to my own online Shopify store where you can order some Waldo brand bacon. It's probably, it's like 60% pork. Okay. The rest, something smaller with more legs. Don't ask. But yeah, you can go in there right now and order some Waldo brand bacon. What could possibly go wrong? Ha ha, fool, I lied. And you bought it. You idiot. Not really. I'm just kidding. I didn't really expect to talk so much tonight about bacon, but I did. I'm going to take my hat off. No, it's not real. I'm lying. I was just goofing. I didn't know we were going to be talking about bacon tonight so much. And then it came, and then it was there, and then I was like, okay, well, just roll it. Yes, and is the trick to proper improv. Anyway, how's it going? I'm going to play Halls of Torment, you guys. For one of the better blunders out there. This entire stream has just been a trick to you guys to get you guys to go buy my bacon. Yeah. This stream brought to you by bacon. You know you want it. You got half the pork back. So yeah, what are you guys thinking? What are you feeling? Tell me some of your favorite conspiracy theories. Try to send some text to speech, see if it works. I don't know if it will. It probably won't. But give it a shot. Let me know how it goes. Maybe it'll function. Maybe it won't. And maybe it'll be so slow that it'll be funny. Maybe we'll come back around to it worked. Now it doesn't. I'm sad. But when it doesn't work, I actually laugh about it. We have a good time. Maybe the whole thing has gone back around. Yeah, well, I have just been a long con capitalist this entire time. You're right, 10 past 11. This has been my trick to get you to spend money. So, yeah, then next week's stream, I'll be doing purple mattress ads and ZipRecruiter ads and what was the other one? What's that one that you get in podcasts all the time? HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh and use the code Waldo is your daddy to get 100% off. You're going to do it, aren't you? Stamps.com. That's right. VPN ads. Yeah, you're right. Stamps.com. Go to stamps.com and type in Waldo is your daddy, and you will get $7,000 free worth of stamps. Hims ads. Yeah, that's right. I look at this. I need them to grow my hair back. I need them to sell me testosterone goop so that I can have baby hair on my head. We need the cleric, don't we? Yes, we do. Shincento, you put that in there and it says stamps.com and it's a link. Like I can click on it and go to stamps.com. Are you allowed to link things and I don't even know it? Maybe you have a superpower that nobody else has. Minus 10 minutes runtime, 50 spawn rate, monsters, 20 movement speed. Oh, I don't like that. All right, let's make sure he's equipped properly. let's equip this cleric. Thanks, Waldo. I got to crash. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, no problem, KPP. Have a good time. Good night. Next time you're at the butcher for bacon, have them trim your neck. What, my dish? Are you body shaming me, KPP? For my double chin here? Or are you talking about the hair? I don't know. Everything is set for the cleric. Let's go, cleric. Hair, okay, yeah, just making sure. I was like, well, the butcher, he cuts meat, not hair, but I guess he does cut hair too. Yeah, I need a haircut. It is too long. It gets wavy on the sides. It gets wavy and it turns like a spiral. It's very strange. I have very weird hair. Butcher, barber, surgeon, all the same guy. Yeah, you're right. I guess they are all kind of the same guy. I wonder if... I wonder if TTS works. I typed it in. It's going to be a very long time till it shows up, if it shows up at all.
Does it work?
Hey, there it is. It took a little bit. So if you want to send me a really slow message through Kick Chat or Twitch Chat, you can do !TTS, and the robot will eventually read what you have to say. I'll do another system restart tonight, and then maybe it won't be so laggy and crappy tomorrow on Wednesday stream. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know what causes this lag, honestly. It doesn't happen when I'm not streaming. It only happens once I load everything up. So I think it might just actually be a slow connection on my part. I have to pay the fucking cable company more money. God, I don't want to pay them more money. So that I can have a faster stream, or a faster upload speed. I don't want to do that. But I might have to. So let me think. What conspiracy theories that I always like to think about? I mean, everybody knows 9/11, sure. Everybody knows that the thousands of conspiracy theories about that. Back when I was a kid, we had Nibiru and Planet X, and that was the one I read about on Hotmail communities a lot, as people would take photos of obvious giant monstrous planet floating up in the sky that was going to crash down into us and mess up our gravity any minute, just any minute. And I was reading about this in like 1996, man, like 1997. I'm reading about how any moment the giant planet Nibiru would be in the sky and we would all be able to see it. And then no one would be able to deny the truth. And I mean, spoiler alert, that did not happen, ever. That never happened. And that's why you had the chemtrails, you see. The chemtrails were to block you, the everyday citizen, from seeing Planet X Nibiru, you see. If you could see it, then you would know it's real. And then you would panic and you would ask the government, hey, why is there this giant planet in the sky that seems to be coming for us? And then they wouldn't be able to control you anymore with the mind control somehow. I'm not entirely sure how that went down. But yeah, any minute, Nibiru was going to become visible to the naked eye. I always liked that one. or the Denver airport. Do you guys know the Denver airport one? The Denver airport was really good. It was the Denver International Airport, not the local, not the domestic side, but the international side was filled with crazy artwork and stuff like that. And because it was filled with all this crazy artwork, it was the Illuminati hiding in plain sight, because that's mandatory for the Illuminati. They have to hide in plain sight for some reason. They can't just hide. They have to hide and brag secretly through esoteric messaging, you see, or else they don't get their magic powers, I think. So I'll make, if you don't think about it, it does make sense. It makes sense if you don't think. So yeah, there was all the artwork was there, and then there was people would get sick and have weird nausea and headaches inside that airport because of all the EMF waves that were floating around in there, because the whole thing was a giant nuclear bunker. And something about Denver being completely immune from radioactive fallout because of the weather or some dumb shit. And then when the bombs start dropping, when the nuclear war happens, all the elites, all the important people, all the Obamas, all the Bushes, all the queens of England will rush over to Denver airport and start the new world from there. And anybody who's in the airport at the time will have a choice to make. Either you work as a slave for the powers that be that now all live there, or you walk out and take your chances in the wasteland. I could probably write an entire novel about that, couldn't I? God, that would be a good novel. Don't steal my idea, unless you want to, in which case you should. I'm not going to write a novel. But it would be told from the point of view of a regular guy who is in the Denver airport at the time that the nuclear war starts, and they're all watching CNN, and everybody in the airport's freaking out, and some people are demanding to go home, and some people run out, and things get a little bit crazy, and then the airport locks the doors and won't let anybody leave, and the planes all stop because, I mean, there's a nuclear war going on, right? And then somebody said they saw the president inside the Denver airport, and then people start getting antsy and start looking around, and then, yeah, the president is there, and so is the King of England, and so is this important news reporter, and this important person from CNN is there, and this important basketball player is there, and this important NFL guy is also being seen there, and then they offer the ultimatum, sort of a Snowpiercer kind of a thing, you know. I don't know if you watched Snowpiercer, but it was like, hey, you work here for us, or you can get off anytime you want. That could be a fun story, except it's not going anywhere. So it's not quite Snowpiercer. They try and steal an airplane. So you have the heroic tough guy character who's trying to steal a plane and escape. Then you got your weak wimpy character who's like, no, this is better than being out there in the toxic waste. We got better spike boots. Drops 10 spikes every 2 seconds. Okay. There we go. Increased spike boots, I suppose. That might do me some good. Hey, yeah, look at all those spikes. That's a lot of spikes. Can you hear that? It's a puppy dog. running at full speed, zooming around. But he's downstairs now, so I can't catch him. Orbs, level 3, yeah. I should go get the bloodstains so I can kill the boss. Alright, we're at agony 1.5. So I gotta get to agony 3 to get my current quest completed. This guy is really slow. I need to take speed up skill next time I get the chance. Hang on. There's something under my feet. It's a puppy dog. Hi, puppy dog. Say hello to the internet. Do you have anything to say about conspiracy theories? Which one's your favorite? Oh. You're not allowed to say that on the internet, Bubba. Alright. Here's your treat. There you go. There. I see. He just wants me to throw this. Okay. Here you go. Here you go. Well, that landed behind the entertainment center. Now I have to go get it. Took a weird bounce and landed inside the entertainment center, and he wasn't going to be able to get it. So he was going to start barking and be like, wait, bark, 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 bark. I can't get that. Okay. Chow. There we go. What in the hell? Dude, you didn't just crash the desktop, did you? The game crashed on me. Son of a bitch. Damn it all to hell. Game just crashed. That makes me unhappy.